And welcome into our Humble Heart FM studios for another web chat with the mayor. Anything new on the art gallery coming up this week, Pat?
We're having a few delegations are appearing to talk about the art gallery, but as far as everything else, it's taking sort of a pause right now, and so it's we can slow down now that the commitment has made to have the art gallery move into the first level. So I understand that they are packing now as they had planned in June, and we'll slowly start moving things over to the art gallery.
Negotiations taking place?
We've started, we've talked, we've sent them the motions, and I understand that there's been conversations, but they haven't set up any firm dates to get together and talk about specific details.
Yeah, it'll probably be a few months. Let's talk some baseball, shall we? The city is getting a report here on Thursday night recommending that the city purchase some land to develop a new baseball complex. What kind of complex are we looking at? How much land is needed?
This is a report coming forward. It's a very fact-filled report because there's so many ball leagues and they're not really under one umbrella. Mm-hmm. But they managed to get together, and through the Recreational Advisory Committee, they've come up with this report, which provides a mittful of information. Yeah. You know, the ball diamonds, the usage, the projected uses. So it's quite interesting. We'll probably send it to staff for some information. But it starts a process that. What do we need? What can we look for? What sort of arrangements can we, maybe partnerships with school boards? So there's all sorts of questions there. But they're looking at they're recommending a large complex where people could, where you have 4 or 5 diamonds. And so you need a fair, good-sized chunk of land. We would be doing it on city-owned property. Some of the numbers are getting into the range of, up to $1 million to build a 5 or 6 story or field complex. We want to look around. We might even go back to the early 1870s when the old fairgrounds used to be located off of Tecumseh. There's a big flat piece over there. Municipalities also have the possibility of looking at purchasing land outside of our city boundaries if you're using it for recreational purposes. So there's lots of different options to take a look at. How can you make use maybe of existing parks? So, it's still a wide myriad. And then, of course, we'll have to have public sessions on it. And one of the things we'd bring forward would be a report from the treasurer that would say, okay, if you want to spend $500,000, this is going to be the impact on taxes. Here's the impact if you want to build a Rolls-Royce complex at $1.5 million. So we'll get all that information out, and we'll see where it takes us. The only other thing I can add, and I'm getting long-winded here, is we also are awaiting a report from the Upper Thames River Conservation on the excess lands they have around the city. So we'll be looking at that because there might be opportunities to put some sort of a complex on Upper Thames lands. So there's lots of room yet to move on this, but this is a key first step.
Yeah, it's certainly exciting. Another thing that's happening around baseball field, Southside Park area, WDDS set to open up a concession stand there, correct?
That's correct. They'll be opening it outside the Tip O'Neill Field. And the question always has been the hours of service. So they've been given a 3-year contract. As a matter of fact, at the last council meeting, council through community grants provided them with a $5,100 grant for startup. For their startup equipment and everything else. So I know they're excited about the opportunities, so I hope people will go down and give them their business. So it's certainly a good news story.
And Pat, one of the debates that kind of got lost in the shuffle maybe with everything that went on at the last meeting towards the end of it, debating whether or not to set up a Sisters City committee. We, of course, have a couple of sister cities. Do you see the value in creating that committee, and what would that value be?
Well, it's what's happened is there's arrangements been made with these sister city agreements, but there isn't really any one place that's the focus for it. And so as a result, groups have gone down from Woodstock till Sylvania. They've been very well greeted and treated. That hasn't necessarily happened here because things have just been a little bit too loose. Mm-hmm. So I think we need to firm it up. We could either, try and, keep it in the mayor's office, or as was suggested, maybe we take a look and actually formalize a committee, give them some responsibilities so that when someone calls up, they've got a group to go to ask, okay, who would we contact down there? I mean, there's scouting groups, there's lots of interaction between the two. But by having a committee, it formalizes it and it makes it more front and center. So if you believe in the sister city concept, then you have to be committed to it and you have to remain focused and not let it just fall through the cracks.
All right, thanks for your time today. These and more issues Thursday night at Woodstock City Council.